I lived in Moscow for almost 20 years. Let me tell you a little bit about Moscow climate. A northern city, the capital of Russia, has very long winters. Let me tell you, Moscow winters are tough and rough. They start in early October, it gets cold, then we get snow. The worst part is not actually snow or cold, the worst part is lack of sun. Really gets to you. Sun disappears in around September. And think of this, clouds every single day for the next almost 6 months. Oh, it's tough. Some years it gets really bad, like in 27, there was a record sunless year. We got only around 36 hours of sunlight in the entire winter. Ooh, that's bad. And it gets dark real early, like around 4 p.m., and it gets light real late, around 10:30 a.m. in December, at least. In my opinion, winters in Moscow are pretty terrible. Well, I think at this point you understand that it's not the best place to live in the winter. Then late February comes. Usually it's late February. And, imagine this. It's still cold. It's still brutal. It's still windy. It's still, you want to cover your face, because it's just cold. It gets to you. Few feet of snow on the ground everywhere you go. And then one day comes a deal breaker. You always know that day. You always know when it comes. It's just a regular day, but it's something special. Usually wind dies down and the sun comes out and the birds start, chirping. Clouds disappear. And this is the day when you feel for the very first time spring is coming. Spring is in the air. Hard to say how to explain what it is. It's still cold, it's still winter, but for the first time in year, change is out there, and it's inevitable, and it's coming. There will be many more snowfalls. There will be lots of days, weeks and weeks of cold and wind and all this nastiness, but it's always like magic. The change is coming. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you important news updates that explain what's truly happening inside Russia. What you will not find on this channel is BS, propaganda, and fake news. What you will find on this channel is common sense, logic, and truth, and emotions, because I am a human being. Inside Russia is where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. For the first 30 minutes or so, I give you daily updates I find important, and later I invite everyone to join live stream chat to converse, ask questions, give feedback, and I'd love that very much. So, my today's stream is about a question. Whether, for the first time in 13 months, Russia is having a smell of revolution up in the air. Let's talk about the revolution. Disclaimer first. I am not calling for any violence or illegal change. I'm always for peaceful change, legal exercise of people's rights. I am for people. We are the people standing up all at once, and exercising their rights peacefully but firmly. First things first. I'd like to give you a Merriam-Webster definition of revolution. There are a few definitions given, and among them are a sudden, radical, and or complete change, a fundamental change in political organization, an activity or movement designed to effect fundamental changes in a socioeconomic situation, a fundamental change in the way of thinking about or visualizing something, a change of paradigm. That's what revolution is. And I agree with pretty much, there are many more definitions in a dictionary, but I agree with this ones. They fit the content, the context. Anyway, when 13 months ago, on February 24th, 2022, Russia started attacking Ukraine and killing Ukrainians, many people, many Russians, I am among them, strongly opposed Russia's actions. Among those of us opposing, there was a popular opinion, and it went something like this. This is a mistake. This is one man's war. This cannot go on forever. This cannot go on for long. This is a mistake. If Russian officials led by Putin pushing it, then Russian wealthy, the elite, will revolt, because the elites have a lot to lose. Everything to lose. Their riches, their status, their acceptance. Therefore, Russia will see a revolution soon. The wealthy, the oligarchs, will simply protect themselves, protect their wealth. They will roll over the government, like a steamroller, change everything and stop this madness. Pretty much that's what I was thinking, and many people were thinking. And there were lots of people thinking outside of Russia. I saw that by comments I was receiving in my live stream chats. So that was the popular opinion. And it'll happen soon, we thought. Within weeks. Well, again, that was a pretty popular opinion among both Russians and foreigners. That course of actions seemed to be making sense then, in early spring of 2022. Many waited for sudden changes, and the changes, they never came. Week after week after week after week after week, nothing happened. Well, something did started happening. Something started happening to the elites and to the wealthy, to the oligarchs, to the high-ranking Russian officials, as it was predicted. Just as many thought, many wealthy Russians started seeing the wealth disappearing. The sanctions, businesses taken away, foreign assets confiscated, Russian wealthy started taking hits. And no change came still. When? This question I had to answer many, many times. People were just asking me in the comments to the videos, in the comments in the live stream chats. They were asking me this question in super chats. When the revolution in Russia happens, when the changes will take place, when people will wake up and will start taking actions and so forth. I have answered hundreds of times. No change on the horizon. Nothing can be seen. To me personally, and was a fairly popular opinion, back then, we're talking about spring and early summer of 2022, it became clear that no sudden change initiated on the inside by the wealthy, by the oligarchs, by high-ranked government officials, no changes were coming anytime soon. The elites shut their mouths tight and kept silent. People talked about a possible revolution for a while. In the spring, again, in the summer, and I'd say middle of summer, that idea died one day, just like that. We all understood that there would be no revolution coming. It didn't seem like an option anymore. And simply, we stopped talking about it. I clearly remember I discussed this with my wife, and that's it. I didn't bring it up anymore. Useless. You all know what happened later. That summer, that fall, not winter. Bloodshed continued. Russian army advanced into Ukraine, pushed into Ukraine, then was pushed back. Please forgive me. It regrouped from Kharkov and Kherson. Russia annexed 4 provinces of Ukraine. The shopping center bombing, don't forget that. The mobilization in Russia, then the exodus of millions of Russians. Russian economy going to hell. Russian oil and gas kaput. On top of that, of course, the most tragic thing is people dying every single day. Both Ukrainians and Russians. Every day. Every single day. Folks, winter came. A very long winter. Very cold, very depressing, dark and hopeless. You saw the winter. Many of you were with me here in the streams. And you saw the winter in my topics, you saw the winter around me, and you saw the winter in my eyes, or at least some of you did. It was a very painful winter. The most painful winter I've ever had. No sun, no joy, no warmth, no happiness, loneliness. The winter of sad, tragic live streams. But just like in Moscow, all winters come to end. 3 days ago, all of a sudden, out of the blue, I felt spring coming. Despite of me being in Uzbekistan, I still feel everything that's happening in Russia very, very, very well. And I felt spring coming. I felt that magic moment when you get outside one day and all of a sudden you go, wow, something's different. Well, something became different 3 days ago. I felt change. Still cold, still painful, still terrible. But just like this very first day of winter that gives you hope, I felt change was up in the air. So what happened? There was a telephone conversation between 2 famous rich Russians, wiretapped and made public. I will not say their names. You can easily Google the conversation, listen to it. Right now, it's translated into English or with English subtitles. I actually urge you to do that. One Russian is a famous show business community member, and another Russian, I'm not sure he's Russian anymore. He left Russia quite some time ago. He lives in a different country. He's former senator, a member of one of the parliament's houses, a businessman and a billionaire. One of the guys has been a very public supporter of the war. And another one, well, again, he left Russia a long time ago. The war supporter, right after the conversation was made public and, just started catching on like fire everywhere, He made different statements and public statements. Some statement he said, well, that if 2 people speak on the phone, it's privacy and that cannot be, the conversation cannot be wiretapped, but they're private and it's illegal to wiretap them and stuff like that. Then he said that, of course, it wasn't him. It was his voice computer generated by some kind of smart artificial intelligence, most likely American evil, created by Satanists. Okay, he didn't say that, but that you get the idea, He made different statements, and it felt like he was panicking. Now, if the conversation was fake, the guy had nothing to worry about, right? But he was panicking. And by that, and by a few other things that I thought of and I heard, I believe the conversation was real and it's not fake. Over 30 minutes, everything what happened in Russia was discussed in the conversation. Very long conversation, It's like imagine two close friends discussing things, everything, discussing life, discussing their families, their future, without holding back. Just like if they're made sure no one is listening to them, and no one will find out what they talk about. Well, they talked about many different things, very interesting things, They talked about what Putin really did to Ukraine and what he did to Russia by making the decision to invade Ukraine, what Russian army is, how people are lied to constantly, how Russia has become the kingdom of lies and curved mirrors, I quote, how country's future is destroyed, how Ukrainians have suffered, and they didn't understand what they suffered for. They talked of the things they actually talk in my streams about, okay? And boy, they were angry. Ho, ho, ho. You just go ahead and listen to what they were telling each other. They were spitting with anger. They were cursing like over a few hundreds F words in Russian. They were calling the Russian president names, very insulting names. No support of war in the conversation, unlike when they spoke publicly, They showed their true colors in that conversation. That was the bomb. And it's still being discussed in Russia heavily by every single guy and his brother. Everyone has been speaking about this. It's the talk of the town, so to speak, the talk of the country, And all the media, of course, not the government media. Government media, they act as usual. They ignore, like nothing's happened. It just didn't exist, okay? And I'm sure if someone asks a question, they will say, what? That's a fake. You were told it's artificial intelligence, generated voice. What else do you want to know? That's how Americans work. The Satanists, the evil ones, the Nazis. That's their work. That's their signature, okay? And that's what the Russian, official media, the propaganda, that's what they will say if asked, if confronted. But, there are fortunately other people besides the propaganda. People like, Russian independent reporters who moved outside of Russia and they still doing reporting. They're still discussing lots of analytics, lots of experts talking about that. And you know what? There's a popular opinion. There are anonymous comments given by other wealthy Russians. So this opinion is that 100% of wealthy Russians, of the oligarchs, of the elites, agree 100% to everything what was said in that conversation. Again, I urge you to go and watch it and listen to it. 100%, they all think like those two guys. Those two guys, they by mistake, they became the voice of current opinion of current state of things in Russia. You know, after I heard that conversation, after I watched the experts, the reporters, I all of a sudden felt spring. Still cold, still dark, still uncomfortable, still, not that great. But spring in people's heads is coming. The seeds have been sown. Food for thought is there, and it's actually giving the results. This change is being born in people's heads. I believe it's gonna catch like a wildfire. Sooner or later, it's bound to happen. It doesn't feel cold anymore. Not that cold, at least. It started feeling a little bit warmer. And this has been my message for today. Thank you so very much for coming, watching, listening, giving me a chance. Thank you, friends. It's really great to see everyone. I would like to hear what you have to say. Please share your opinions, give me your feedback. I'm going to turn on live stream chat, and like I said before, I would love very much if you continue watching and conversing with us. Before I do that, I would like to ask you a couple favors. First, could you please help me spread my message by making reposts in your social media accounts? That would help a lot. Also, would you consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel if you liked what you heard today, so you won't miss any further updates? And would you please also consider signing to my Telegram channel called Inside Konstantin's Russia? The link will be in the description below the live stream once it ends. So that way we will stay in touch easier. Thank you so very much. The live stream chat is on. And I'd love to hear your opinions. If you're not seeing the chat, do what I've done. Just hit the refresh button and reload your page, and you'll see them. And thank you so very much again for so many people, and there are so many comments right off. I'm seeing the mods, Mommy Lorna, howdy, Bob, Black Cat, Amir, Harry, howdy friends. Thank you so much for coming back again, and the usual suspects. Fantastic to see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want me to see your message easier, please put it in caps and put Inside Russia after @ so it's highlighted in orange and it kind of jumps right into my site. Samsa at Finnish newspaper headline had similar subject today, and you had it now. All right. It's actually not such a sad stream today. There's a little bit of hope, and it's fantastic, Hello from Chicago, howdy, howdy, London, Sweden, Italy, the USA, of course, Canada, Belgium, Bruno, Carano, Ferrari Guy, Jeffrey S, Julie W, Jodes Rames, and the usual suspects. Howdy. The Baltics, Pentium 100 megahertz. Howdy. First super chat from X-Flying Tiger. John and Nikki Lake Shasta in the house. Where can we find the conversation you were referring to? Well, I don't want to give you the names, But just Google it. I mean, Google the conversation, um, you know, the conversation about, state of things in Russia or something like that. I'm pretty sure it'll pop up right away. If you don't see it, just email me and I'll send you a link. RW, howdy. Thank you so much. Great to see you. Fantastic. Hearing that conversation was nothing new, but it sure did put a smile on our faces at my house. So you heard it too, right? Yeah, it did put smile on my face and many Russian faces. We discussed it in the Breakfast Club today too. Thank you for huge support, by the way, RW. I emailed you. I sent you a message back on Patreon. Well, we have a... Wait a second. That's not... Just Terry, I must have had something wrong. No, you haven't? What do you mean? Pamela J, thank you so much. That's, it's easy to Google it. Julie W has just given a gift of sponsorship to 5 people. Thank you so much, Julie, from me and from 5 people. And Liz Dumbrell, great to see you. Thank you so much. We have a birthday boy today, and I would like to sing. And this is a very special singing for me, and I'm pretty sure that all the mods will join me. This is to the honor of Amir. I would like to sing to the birthday boy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amir. Thank you so much for coming back every day. Happy birthday to you. Thank you so much, and have many happy returns of the day. I'm sorry about the singing. That's the best I could do, Matt's fan. Konstantin, what do you think of going to happen on May Day in Russia? It's right around the corner. Nothing's going to happen on the May Day. It's just going to be another day. The change will come suddenly when we don't expect it. It always comes suddenly, okay? There is no plan for it. Can be on a May Day, can be on other day. I don't know when. But if nothing, I think May Day is going to be just another day in Russia. Koshkin-Don, usual suspect, is here. I think most people who are here, like 80%, are very usual suspects. Not even usual suspects anymore. Very usual, Many are like usual super chatters. Carson Larry Moore, I have seen this conversation you speak of. I wish the other 90% of common citizens who you know little of outside of Russia, who live in kept in the dark, only have the same concept of reality. Carlson, the reason I named the stream the way I named it today is the change always comes and it starts with a tiny little bit of something, perhaps a thought, just one thought. Any change, you live your life, and then one time, all of a sudden, you have an insight. You have a thought like, wait a second, why do I keep on doing this every day? This does not give me joy. I got to change something in my life. And you have this tiny little speck, a seed, tiny seed, that is thrown into your head. And after a while, it starts growing and it starts getting bigger and bigger, and the changes come. And I'm talking about any kind of change. This is how changes work. Okay. So if there is a seed, there is work going on. People start thinking. I'm telling you, tens of millions of people heard that conversation. Tens of millions of people know what so-called war supporter really thinks about the war, about Putin, about the army, and about everything else, that is food for thought for many, many people. That is seeds that are thrown into many brains, and they will start growing. So that's why I'm saying that people will start thinking. And another thing that's the elites, they're smart, okay? And this is what they already have grown in their heads. And that is dangerous, Josia Vatroyan, very brave of you to talk so openly. Well, you make a decision. You either talk openly or you keep holding back. Thing is, it's like a line. Once you step over that line, there's no way back. I have taken a step over that line. I have made a decision. So I basically speak openly every day. Anonymous, I listened to that audio. Great. So this is not like a breaking news to you. I am so glad you already heard. Amir Fest. I like that. Amir Fest. Remillion 5. Comment ça va? Great to have you here. Thank you so much from France. Viva France. Everyone's spring is in the air. Faith, yes. Snow White. Yeah, you're right, they did. Not your friends, Katarina N, thank you so much. Paula W from Oregon. Sandra Workman, love message and your white shirt. Sandra, what I've been thinking lately, I gotta buy myself more of Boss shirts of different colors, and I gotta use a color depending on the mood of the stream. So how about that? So far I have black and white, but there are different colors too. Amir, not only you expected, you got it, Happy birthday again. If you want, I can sing it again. Rabbit Bill, howdy howdy from Tbilisi. Sasha Bowman, thank you. Isabel Ligo, heard that conversation? All right. People Dimitri on Twitter posted 2 days ago. John Wakamatsu, howdy. Sending love to Los Angeles. Thank you so much. Lindsay, are you getting information that people are actually talking about this leaked conversation inside Russia? I'm telling you, this is the talk of the country, okay? This is not just, some people talk about it. Everyone is talking about it. Every single expert had a say about this. This is major. This is big. Wonder what's going to happen to the guys now, okay? One of them retracted, saying, "Oh my, it's not me." He was saying, "Oh, they can't do that. That's private conversation. You can't just interfere into private conversation." Then he came out and said, "It's not me. Of course, it's AI Artificial intelligence created this whole conversation and so forth. But you know what? We all know. And up there in the Kremlin, they all know, okay? And I wonder what's going to happen to the guy now. He was openly saying how he had this property in Dubai and in Switzerland and in London, and he was trying to sell it, but he was afraid to get under sanctions. If he gets under sanctions, he's done. The other one is under sanctions. His yacht has been taken away from him and so forth. Just listen to this stuff. That is gold. Thank you for your work. How to make sure I will be, it'll be the change for better. Russia is defined by its inertia. Caesars, thank you for support. I don't know. At this point, any change is good. I don't know whether it's going to be the change for better. I don't know what's going to be the change for worse, but I tell you, I am so glad there's change, at least this feeling in the air, okay? And this is hope. Summerland, Oklahoma in the house. Howdy, howdy. We have another birthday girl. Well, Amir was birthday boy. And Edgy Mad Cat is the birthday girl. So, wish for spring feeling to last and peace to start happening. Hey, you know what it means, right? It means the song. Now I give a little bit of warning. So, people, some of you, please cover up your ears because I'll start singing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angie. Happy birthday to you. Many happy returns of the day. Thanks for coming here and being the usual suspect. You are such a great member of this community. I value you very much. Thank you. Ann Larson, howdy. Thank you so much. The seed of hope. Well, this is a seed of hope for me first, okay, and I'm sharing it with you. So, Multidaki, good Abend. Just Terry, another great stream today. Thank you. Thank you so much, friend. Thomzok, a nice analogy, but I think winter will remain dark for a very long time. To the oligarchs, they may be against Putin, but nothing has happened in over a year. Why should it now? Well, I have thought of it too. Why should it now? Because you know how camel's back is broken? By putting a tiny little branch on it, okay? There's a tipping point in everything. And there's, I don't even know, the society, the people, the country can hold only so much. And then one little thing happens. And there's a tipping point, the breaking point, and the camel's back breaks. Okay, that's why. And I am absolutely sure that the dark winter still remains, and it's gonna be just like in February. You get out on the street in Moscow and you feel this thing, but you know that there will be weeks of cold, the weeks of winter, but the change is on the way. Okay, so I am sincerely hoping that this kind of change is on the way for my country as well. Wayne Gwynn, thank you so very much. I appreciate the support. No message, but this is a huge message. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. KG1, there's a question. Thank you for your support too. I hear Putin finally admitted today that sanctions might have a negative influence on Russian economy. I'm telling you, things have started hitting the fan, okay? If you follow my streams, remember I've been telling, like, this a tsunami coming this way. The water is up here, okay? Soon it'll be covering our lips, so we won't be able to breathe in terms of economy. And you can speak anything, you can say anything from the TV that economy is doing great, but when a person goes into a food store and sees that the prices went up 50%. And right now, prices for most foods in Russia have gone up 50%, my friends. This is not BS, okay? This is true. I wish I could give you the price tags, okay? But, perhaps I can ask someone to start taking pictures, but they have gone up. You cannot ignore it. You cannot lie about it because people go shop every day. When you have no money to pay pensions, to pay teachers, to pay cops, to pay army, you gotta admit something, So time is coming. It's nearing. I've been saying, this TikTok is heard, and it's heard even louder now. Ooh. RW, there is a certain bellicose chef with presidential aspirations. He's out of the picture. He's done. It was a freak of accident, or a freak of nature. What's the right word? He's not. For a very short time, he was very powerful in Russia for weeks, and everyone started thinking, "Wow, this guy really is, powerful, and perhaps he's aiming to become next president." But this guy is deflated now. He is a dead man walking. Okay, he's done too much damage to himself by his words, by his actions. That trust me, he's not a player in this game anymore. Liz Dumbrell, Mr. K, light colors reflect sunlight, and black will absorb it. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. This is a good message. Thank you so much. Steve Rhodes, all I can afford, best hopes. Steve, thank you so much. I mean, if you have hard time with money, please don't send anything. It's just no problem if you just converse and communicate. This is not about the money. I really appreciate support, monetary help, because that's the only source of income I have now. But this is not about the money in my streams and the community. It's about the feeling I get from conversing with you, the feeling I get when I share information, the feeling I get when I pray and you pray with me. And this is number one. Money is important, but it comes second. And if you have some kind of financial difficulty, please just, don't worry about it. Muson Girl 123, can you provide link to the wiretap conversation? Can't find it with Google. Can anyone please provide a link? Not a link, but like the key phrase, like what to look for. The conversation between two Russian guys or something like that. I don't want to put any links. I don't want to say any names. It's not difficult to Google it, actually. Jekyll N, thank you. Very unusually to see a message from you. It's nice to hear influencers' real thought and private coming out. However, Russians are conditioned to keep quiet. There is a saying in Russia. Russian revolt is absolutely ruthless and terrible. Hang on. Not revolt, but what's this right? Rebel. Riot. It means Russians, it's taken a long time for Russian people to rebel, but once they rebel, they destroy everything. They get so angry, they just you watch out. So it does take a long time for them to rebel. And I'm not saying there will be a revolution or rebellion anytime soon, but what I'm saying is the truth, the change is it's people have started talking about that. In Russia, we say there is no fire without smoke. Well, the smoke appeared, okay? I'm sorry. There is no smoke without fire. So little tiny fire appeared, and it started doing, damage, so to speak. Marcus Uber, Welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you so much for joining. John Wakamatsu, support for the new Russian revolution. Well, I'm not revolutionary. I'm not even inside Russia, okay? The revolution must happen inside people's heads. And once it starts happening, then you just watch out. Ken Harris, thank you so much. Likewise. Quebec, Canada, howdy. Wonder if you ever been to Old Orchard Beach, Maine. Denmark. Max, howdy, howdy. Guernsey, Daniel Bishop. Einar, have you seen the Netflix documentary on Maidan 2014? How did normal Russians view those events, and has opinion changed over time? Well, my opinion changed over time. Not a huge deal, but changed. I really appreciate Maidan 2014 because people spoke. We are the people. We are the Ukrainians. They came out and they made themselves heard. They showed their position as citizens. They wanted to change their future, to take charge of their future. I really admire that in Ukrainians, okay? They did something that Russians could never do. Unfortunately, Maidan also has not that great colors, because a lot of bad people, or at least some bad people, seized power within Maidan. They used the situation. But what Ukrainian people did was just absolutely fantastic. Then I disagree with some Ukrainian politicians and their actions, but you know what? This is my private opinion, and who am I? I'm a Russian citizen. I'm not Ukrainian citizen. I cannot discuss this. It's their business. If Ukrainians let happen whatever they let happen, it's their country. It's their right to do. But I really appreciate them going out and taking charge of the situation. So this is my attitude towards Maidan 2014. A lot of Russians, again, they were engineered to believe Maidan was not good, that there was a... I won't even go there, okay? So Russians, a lot of Russians, I can't say most Russians, I simply don't know, but a lot of Russians don't favor what happened in Maidan. But what can we say? We're Russian citizens, not Ukrainian citizens. None of our business. I personally appreciate people standing up and exercising their rights. Luke King, howdy, howdy. Long time no see. Can Russia ever embrace democracy if so many people are apolitical and don't take interest in politics? Things change. I hope Russian people can and will embrace democracy. I hope my country will, with God's help, revive itself. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I really hope so, because I still love Russia. Not the Russian government, not Russia's actions, but I was born there, I had and still have family in Russia. 3 of my kids are Russian, 2 of my kids are American. This is a really strange situation I'm in right now, I'm telling you, because I'm in between 2 worlds. I'm a hybrid, okay, but I was born and raised Russia, and I hope that it will shine, it will be respected for its actions, it will be peaceful, and it will be, loved by people for its actions. Not like what's going on right now. Luke, thank you so much again. Marcus, in Romania 1989, the army joined the rebellion against Ceausescu and the Secret Service. They switched the side is this a possibility in Russia? Army versus FSB. I don't think army versus FSB is a possibility because FSB will not act on their own. They will not take power in their hands. They're always acting behind the curtains, so to speak. They're always servicing the ones in power. But what I think will happen eventually is a showdown between the army and the government and the leadership, the highest leadership. Because one simple reason, it always ends like this. And in Russia, we already went through this. Let me just remind you, history lesson, 1991, 19th of August. There's a few people seize power. They lock Gorbachev down in his dacha on vacation, cut him off communication, basically put him under home arrest. They come out on television and say, hey, you know what? We have taken power in Russia. We're going to be ruling it from now. We don't like where Russia is going under Gorbachev. We know how to fix things. This is it. And people started going on the streets because they didn't like that. And guess what those few men did, old men? They called up the army. The tanks entered Moscow. And they said, disperse people. And guess what happened then? The key moment, no one really remembers anymore, but that was the key point in Russia's history. The general, his last name was called Lebed. Okay, he was in charge. He came to Moscow, like there were a bunch of tanks, and he was given an order to disperse people and shoot people. And he said, you know what? I'm not going to shoot people. He turned around tanks, and he gave an order to move them out of the capital. And other generals all over the country, they saw that and actually followed the guy. So the army changed everything in Russia in August 19, it was August 20th. And then things started happening. And then Yeltsin came out. And then after, General Lebed gave the order to move tanks out of Moscow and not to shoot people. And people were there are tons of pictures. If you Google, there were tons of pictures of people just giving flowers to the soldiers who live in Moscow in tanks and so forth. So it always comes down to the stand. The army give an order to shoot people, and they either shoot like in Venezuela, or they turn away and move out and support people like they did in Russia in August of 91. And it's not a possibility. This will happen again. KG1, why is Putin stationing tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus? How are citizens taking this? Scared. Many people scared. The thing is, my opinion, I don't know whether it's true or not, but this is my opinion. I think he has nothing left. Nothing left. This is the last thing he can scare people in the West, well, the Western governments. Moving nuclear tactical weapons there is not using them. I mean, look at the map. How far Belarus is from Russia? It's right next door. And what? He moves 100 miles? Those rockets fly 100 miles easily and fast, if you know what I mean. So by moving to Belarus, he does not gain much of tactical or strategical advantage, but he definitely sends a message, and he'll trying to get an upper hand in. Perhaps he wants to start negotiations. I don't know, but this is for show. If he starts using tactical nukes, this is gonna be the end of him. Okay, and then he knows that. It means that he's so desperate. He's so in the corner. He's so cornered. That's it. He knows it's a suicide, and he would go out with a bang. He would press the button to kill himself. Caesars, have you seen Timothy Snyder talking about Russophobia in front of a Security Council? It was quite deep. Unfortunately, I have not. I will. If you recommend, I will. Thank you so much. Because I, as you know from our conversations, take what you send me seriously. So I've made a screenshot and I'll check it out. Thank you. Maryland in the house. Leitmotif for me. Vlad Wexler addressed this telephone conversation. I'm telling you, every single expert and his brother out there has addressed that conversation. I did not see what Vlad had to say about that. I saw quite a few Russian experts, and that's what I'm more interested in, because I need to know what Russians think about that, because Russians are always on the inside, and if even the reporters on the outside, they influence Russians on the inside. No, that's why the Russians do not watch Vlad Wexler, but they watch Milov and people like him. Lindsay, just hope these guys in the leaked coal don't end up falling out a window. Consider it done. I mean, calling the names, usually he doesn't forgive stuff like that. Lena, howdy, howdy. Andrew Hodson, greetings from South Africa. Hello. My calendar days are numbered. Why? Brother Randall, thank you so much. Pinda Chair, Peanut XS. I like the name Peanut XS. You have to sing again. Is it your birthday? Number 3? We haven't had 3 birthdays at the same day. Wow. I don't get it. Please specify Panda Chair. What do you mean by you have to sing again? Marjorie Johnson, was that a white Medican band you ripped off from your wrist before? Oh, what was that? That was a Apple Watch. Worried about your sinus conditions? It's getting better, actually. The allergies. I live in a sinus valley. Many are affected. I believe it's allergy and it's getting better. Well, for a couple reasons. Sky left me allergy pills, it turns out. And as soon as I start taking American meds, they work. Meds here in Uzbekistan and Russia, they don't work. Well, here, terrible. In Russia, a little better. But you take American meds, they actually do what they're supposed to do. Because, well, I won't even go there. That's America for you. So I started taking American pills and, it's cured. I breathe easily with my nose. No problem. And I think it's allergies. Something is blossoming and the blossom was going away. Because last year I came to this place on March 27th. Imagine that. I came March 27th. I stayed for a month. I left. I came back September 27th. 6 months to the date. It's incredible. And it's been 1 year. So I came 1 year ago and I did not have any problems with allergies. Something that blossoms must have stopped blossoming before I came last year. Okay. So thank you so much for worrying now. Mets fans, how is Russia still in the United Nations? I don't know. That's a question, not a question to me. I can't answer all questions. Brontoland. Lisa Kumrian, howdy, howdy. Andrew Baker, thank you so much for the support. Rob, in the US, that conversation doesn't work in Google with those keywords. Huh. Well, email me and I'll email me. I will email the link. Spring day in Portland, Oregon. If it's if it doesn't snow tonight. Liz Dumbrell, thank you so much for your support again. Dennis Hayes, an Aussie who was in Moscow for Gorbachev coup. Wow, I remember those days. Walked the streets that Monday evening. There was no popular uprising, just a few thousand very brave young Muscovites. Can this be different? Wait a second. Just a few thousand very brave young Muscovites grew into almost 100,000 the following day. So what you saw on August 19th, I wasn't there. I was 91, 15 years old. I was in Rostov, okay? But we actually went to the center of Rostov to find out what was going on. Very few people there, no people. But in Moscow, there were a few thousand very brave young Muscovites incoming. So I hope this will be different. And then back then, what do you mean, can this be different? Back then, everything went well. People actually stood up the following day. There was a huge uprising. The entire country basically stood up and people made themselves heard. I hope this is the same this time, you know? Whew. Josia, is the conversation between the two Russians? Well, just try to Google it differently, you know? It's there. Black Cat, do an encore. What's an encore? Encore. Encore. Interesting. Can't find it. Nabis. No. Okay, I get it. Encore. Nabis. Yeah. Musang Girl 123. Just, perfect. Camilla Matson, are people afraid for Putin? Oh, FSB. I'm not sure what the question is. I'm sorry. Thank you, Faith. Thank you so much. Так. Tom W, thank you. The girls are good. Thank you so much. George, the war games. The war games, wow. I guess we have an expert on war. Howdy, George. Andrew Thornberg, good evening, Konstantin. No evening is complete for me without you listening. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have no clue how grateful I am to hear this, to to hear something like this. Oh, I watch you every day, and then thank you. It really means it's better than money. Okay, it's keeps me going, just gives me energy. Without this, I would have died. Don't always agree with your conclusions, but love your personal experience and insight. Please don't always agree with my conclusions. Well, at least sometimes, that'd be enough. I have no problem people disagreeing with me. You should see the emails I receive. I try to answer most of them. People, write me why they disagree with me. We have conversations, and it's okay. When I hear someone disagreeing with me, I simply start thinking about it, because usually person, gives the arguments, and this is what it's all about. Sometimes I admit I missed, my mistake. Sometimes I change my opinion. Sometimes I don't, but this is all good. As long as it's done in a nice and civilized manner, that's what it's all about. Evelyn Craig, howdy. Dirk, howdy, howdy. Hooked by Donian. I was hoping for Russian singing. I'm afraid that Lorna will ban me because Russian is not allowed here. Jeffrey, yes. Jeffrey's a great guy. He makes sense about everything, but just don't listen to his dating advice. Liz, thank you. Barbara W., thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate that support. You are number one, not me. Thank you. John Doe just popped in. Is there a chance for a revolution? Well, just watch my message today and then decide for yourself. I've decided for myself and I've shared it with you. Serious Holger, disagreement is a part of healthy society. Hands down agree, You are very right. As long as people disagree in a civilized way, respecting each other. Mommy, everyone is in my family is musical except for me. Well, welcome to my world. Everyone sings great in my family. My dad used to sing great. You all saw that how Jake sings. He definitely is not taking it after me. And Sky is a great singer. Ola, fantastic, And even Michael sings better than me, Thomas Robinson, thank you so much. Russia was first to put a satellite in space. That's true. That's true. That's something to be proud about. Unfortunately, the Russia's space program has been kaput. Time's up, saying Nightbot. I'm seeing that. Okay, so gonna wrap it up. Dave Strains, howdy. Anonymous, I would like to know the subject matter you referenced about a phone call you had a few friends. I'm not sure what you mean. Subject matter you referenced about a phone call you had with a few friends the other day. I don't remember what. Give me more. I don't recall what I said. Do you think the predicted spring offensive is imminent? I think so. Yes. KG1, I think it's imminent. Amanda, thank you so much. Thank you. My haircut, I finally was able to get what I wanted in the first place, and it took my hairdresser 6 freaking months to do that. Okay. Tried different every single time, and then he did this, and I like it too. Thank you so very much for the compliment. Oddman, you know the question why Russia is in UN? UN was made for this. As long as Russia takes part in UN, there is more hope and the avenue for politics remain. Also, is probable other nations would leave UN. I think UN needs to be upgraded. I don't know. Used to be the League of Nations before the UN. Perhaps there should be something more advanced than the UN. Tom W, thank you. Carmen V, RW. Thank you so much, my friends. And let's wrap it up for today. Holy moly, for the first time, YouTube has given me an option of putting a heart of a smile. I'll try to do that now. I don't know, you seen anything? That's my hearts. I like that. Now the smiley face. That's cool. And now 100%. That's for you folks, you know. Thank you. All right. Serious thing. That's I invite everyone to pray. I want to pray a little different today. Invite everyone, whether you're religious or not, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hebrew, who else? Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist. Major confessions, major religions, right? Anyway, Hindu. There you go. Thank you so much. So you with me. Please, everyone, join me in prayer. Let's send prayers to people in country and Ukraine and say let's pray for people and for things to come. Thank you so much, dear God, Lord Jesus Christ, for giving us this day. Thank you so much for putting food on our tables. Thank you for putting roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people we love and who love us. Thank you for giving us wisdom. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe and peaceful. Please give us wisdom to raise them so when they grow up, they become good adults, right adults, and they will make this world a better place. Will never engage into wars with each other. Dear Lord, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people who are responsible and who can make this decision to stop. Touch them, fill their hearts with love, open their eyes, give them forgiveness and forgive them so they make the right decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian who has been affected by this bloodshed. Please answer every person in Ukraine who is praying, asking, begging, needing your help. Answer their prayers, make their wishes come true, please. Send every Ukrainian an angel so the angels keep people out of the harm's way. Please help my country, Russia, Send the army of your strongest angels with sharpest swords led by Saint Michael, to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. Make it run by the angels. Make it good, make it right, make it peaceful, make it a good neighbor. And send it forgiveness, please. Please help all those who are traveling, send them safe travels. All those who are seeking for asylum, send them help and good people their way. God bless those who are helping Ukrainians in any way. Dear Lord, please help the ones who are hungry, homeless, jobless, sick, depressed, with low self-esteem. Please send them your light. Shine your light, heavenly light upon them. Surround them with warmth and send love into their hearts so they feel better. They will get up on their feet and they will have a shot at being happy again. Dear Lord, please help all the Ukrainians who are without electricity, heat, hot and cold water. Send help their way. Please help promote the changes in my country, Russia, the changes to the better. Shine your light of wisdom unto all Russians. I asked you a couple minutes before to touch the hearts and souls of people who make decisions to stop the bloodshed. Well, I also would like to ask you to reach out and touch the heads, the hearts, and the souls of regular Russian people so they wake up from the lethargic sleep as well. They will start thinking straight. They will start use critical thinking. They start use their brains. They will have love in their heart and they will have forgiveness. They will have mercy, empathy. They wake up, they open their eyes and they see what has been done to the neighbor, Ukraine, to the Ukrainians, and to Russia. I'm asking you for them to send them a wake-up call. Dear Lord, thank you so much for bringing us into this community. Thank you so much for allowing us to pray together. Please help everyone who is praying along right now or simply watching us pray. Thank you for all people in this community who hadn't prayed for a long time and started praying in the live streams. Help everyone, answer everyone's prayer, hear everyone's prayer, answer it, and make everyone's wish come true. Thank you so much. I would like to mention a few people that need your help. They are Greg, Ann Larson, her family and daughter, Delaney and her two daughters, Florentina, Max family, Sherry Morin, CKOC, Brian Wilkes, Todd Richards, please have his soul rest in peace, Liz Dumbrell, Ripted, daughter of Aspen English, Ruth, the friend of Darla, Larry, Wayne, Shirley, Debbie, Jen Allen, Finola, Lars Henrik's mother, the Highwayman, Amanda Ridenour and her roommate, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander and family, Choriz and family, David Porter and his family and everyone in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Lazarus, Boss Simon, Alvin's sister, Teresa D., Marsha Tucker, Garcia Castellanos, Terry Carter, Joe McMahon, Leah McMahon, Deanna and family, Bree's friend, Caroline, Life, Karin Vasseur, Joel, Albina Fell, Michael Yukon, Lindsay, Pamela J., Daniel 9, Larry, Elena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, Igor, Karen from Maine, Janine, Michael Milkowitz, Marlene, Paul Bins, Richard, Mallory M., Dirk Misler, James Rhodes, Terry, Hannah and her children, Richard Burris, Angelica at Life, and Scan Family's grandson, Grace, Barb, Randolph, Nelly, Arcadia, and Yuri, and everyone in Mykolaiv, Ukraine, Harry's family, Verlinda's niece, Ian James, Doug, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gaby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade Kaltenberg, Allison Dave Moyers, Maureen M. and her sister, Mr. Hanson, Matt, Rob, Bob, Heidi, Tom, Jennifer, Umel, Kayleen, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner, his church, Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Kumrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Amy, Treasure, Kyle's wife, Grace Philosophy, her family, and her wonderful grandchildren, Maggie, Carmen's sister, Vladislav and his father Sergey from Kharkov, Susie Myler, Gina, Wayfarer, MS paramedic Liz, Lori Miles' husband, Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, Thomas Fall, and I would like to add prayers for very special children. They need recovery. Please send them recovery and help. Please send strength to their families. The children are Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian, Coulter, Theo, Madi, Ansley, and Karine Vasseur, 2-year-old niece. Please help them and help their families. Also, I would like to ask you for all children of Ukraine who have been affected, hurt, please have them reunite with their families. Please send your help to them. Don't leave them. Shine your light on them and send your heavenly love to them. Also, I'm asking for Russian children who have been affected as well. Thank you so much, my dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you so much. Thank you for coming again, giving me a chance. You are absolutely awesome, and you rock, and you even rock and roll. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Before I leave, I would like everyone to say along with me the usual, Carthago delenda est.